I think I can check whether the judges are already here. Judge number 1 is here. J number 2.
Gopi, give me 2 minutes. I'll be ready in 2 minutes.
Sure.
I'm here. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. J number 2, yes, you are there. J number 5, yes, you are there.
Yes. Yes.
J number 4 is here, and J number 3, yep. J number 8, yes, and J number 7, yes, and J number 9. I think you please rename yourself, or otherwise I will do it. Or J number 10, yes, you have to rename it. And J number 13. Okay. J number 11. Yes. J number. That's okay. J number 12. That's okay. All the data are here.
Will you speak a few words at the start?
Mr. Haritha, hang on a minute. Let me allow the the speakers inside, then after that
tell all the judges to mute their mics, because there was this little complaint that some of the mics were not muted.
Just a minute, Mr. Maxwell De Silva, you will speak a few words at the onset.
Okay,
Gopi, go ahead.
Let me check the schools whether their teams are here. First, the event competition between Sirimavo, Bandaranaike, Vidyalaya, Colombo, and Musaeus Colombo. Captain of Sirimavo, Bandaranaike, Vidyalaya. All the speakers are here inside the panelist. Anyone from Sirimavo, Bandaranaike school? Musaeus Colombo, Captain.
Yes, we are here.
Thank you. How about Hansika? If anyone under your respective, okay, thank you, one person. Yeah, there is a one person, one speaker from Sirimavo, Bandaranaike. How about other speakers also here? Or
Actually, there are all three of us are, or two of us are here. We are doing from one laptop in one place, so we are at one venue.
how about another speaker?
She will be here soon.
All right, so we can start.
All three speakers from one laptop.
All right, so we can start.
No. Need 5 more minutes. Is that possible?
I I think what number? The speaker's number?
Speaker 1 is the one who's not here. Speaker 2 and 3 are here.
Pretty
Maybe
small
Mr.
answer.
Harita, you can brief.
Brief on that.
Yep.
That was
OVEP Singer is also here. Maybe you can. Sure.
She will be joining like 10:30. Please guys.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yep, Harita. Over to you.
Yeah, just to start off with a very positive note, and the second OVEP Debater 2020 into its third day at Super 8 stage gives you an impression that using formulating this has borne fruit. The vision of this was in the mind of a gentleman called Maxwell de Silva, who is the Secretary General of the National Olympic Committee of Sri Lanka, and he combined with Professor B.L.H. Pereira, the learned gentleman who has been the recipient of the IOC Pierre Coubertin Award for Excellence, and he's Director of Education Programs of the National Olympic Committee. And there were teams that blended with the two of them, the leaders, and made this event such a good success some time ago. The second edition is in the same direction. I take this opportunity to welcome all participants into the Super 8 stage, and once again thank the 20 schools that participated over the preliminary 2 rounds last weekend, and invite Mr. Maxwell de Silva to have a brief view of what this whole exercise is all about at this stage.
Thank you, Harita. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my colleagues and the team. Firstly, like to thank all the schools, the hardworking teachers, the students, and our team for doing a great job. I know you all have been working very hard to make this event a success. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you. Secondly, I'll also like to acknowledge the presence of one of our great athletes, Dr. Edira Veerasingham, whom I'm sure you all are aware. If you are not aware, Mr. Edira Veerasingham, Dr. Veerasingham is one of our top athletes, high jumper, who has helped many of our, let me use this particular language saying that Sinhalese athletes, even though he's a Tamil, but he as a Sri Lankan made it a point to work for the betterment of the country and call Sri Lankan not Sri Lankan Tamil or Sinhalese people. You know, I think that's a lesson I have learned from him. Edir, I like to say on behalf of NOC and everyone here, thank you for your support for sports and also being unbiased in whatever you do, and your achievements is very much appreciated by NOC, and you have inspired us and motivated us by joining from LA today. I know it is late evening. For the students, I like to say what is important in this journey is learning and practicing. I have been saying right through what is important is values you need to learn. It's become a habit by practicing. So what we are lacking in our country is learning these good things. We learn very quickly the bad things, bad habits. Therefore, I urge everyone to practice in a small way. This was our dream, myself and Professor BLH. When we looked at it, we thought this is the best way. If you want to change the society, as done by Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, you have to start from the schools, younger people. So we want to start from the school, and we will start in a small way, uh, plant a small seed, and it will grow over a period. Maybe I won't be there to eat the fruits of this thing, but I know it will uh, multiply and get it. So I wish you good luck in the OEP debate. Do your best, make us proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maxwell de Silva. We welcome this very eminent panel of judges who have worked very hard with the organizers, the think tank of the National Olympic Committee to make it a success. They have been present throughout the debate period in the first occasion 3-4 years ago, and now again. And they have been working very closely with Professor B.L.H. Pereira too, the Director of Education Programs of the National Olympic Committee. We welcome you, sir, Professor, and just find out from you what your view is about this participation in particular.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning to Haritha and everyone, all the participants and all the debaters. We are here in the Super 8 segment, which is a ladder-like thing. When you're looking at 20 schools, and now we have come up to 8 schools. But I look at is enormous amount of ideas from young people generated through this program. So as Mr. Maxwell very correctly said, yes, generation is not enough. Let we plant it in our society. So the best tool that the young in our country could go and talk to their parents. Yes, this is what it's all about. Let my mother, father hear this whole story. That's the start of our journey. Then his colleagues and friends and, society. So we started in a very small manner in 2017, a program called OVEP Debater, but it has a history, goes back to 2007, which is a very, very, historical journey. And then in 2017, we implemented as a pilot program. Today, and 2020, we want to have that the Olympic year. We want to have in a mega style, this whole thing. Maybe 40 schools in one village, living in one village. Live together, have activities together, and then debate together. Generate knowledge and go back to their families, go back to their schools. But unfortunately, yes, as we all know, that we had a disturbance. But we did not give up, Mr. Maxwell, and especially the staff, NOC staff, the coordinator of the program, binded with us, generating a lot of things. So that was a good sign. Yes, that's the second leg. We have come up now halfway through the second leg. We have come to Super 8. Now, academically, we are now, there's a team behind me looking at what sort of references these students have done. We are compiling all the elements, not only the facts that they bring, brought into our segment. In last debate, we were really, surprised to hear young kids said, one of the very big concepts in sports and physical education is called bodily learning, or we call it physical literacy, is the answer to many things that we see in our present world. In fact, people, punishing for doping is not the answer. Change of the mind of people is the answer. So if you can do it during young days, yes, that's not for me. I must try my hard. So that is the way. So that was the point. One of the speakers came out very young. To come out on a research topic like this is I'm really surprised to hear. So yes, I looked as it's a generation of knowledge, and we gather all that future generation, as Mr. Maxwell said. We will not be there to take the essence out of the whole thing, but we will plant this important seeds and then let it grow. So these children will take it home, take it to their school, plant it, and let it grow. So we could see a very much harmonious society future very soon. Talk to each other, live together, and do almost everything together as a human. So that's the message of this program, nothing else. Yes, there are theoretical aspects and many points brought in, but after all, is callous kagotia, because we need a cultured gentleman out of all this program. If that culture does not exist among us, even debaters and all of us, yes, we are sorry in that. So we look forward in a positive manner. I know surely this program will go on. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, Dr. Edri. You are there. I'm very happy. We must get together. And I know we belong to another generation. Of course, now we are moving out. The younger generation must come up. All the best. Thank you, all the visitors from overseas. And I don't know, many people here. Wish you all the best. And we look forward to have a great debate. All the teams, best of luck. Thank you, Harita. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Just to find out whether the Sirimavo Bandaranaike contestant is now in the panel.
Yes, sir. We are ready.
Okay, very good. Just to brief you about a little bit of things that we need to understand. This whole exercise is debater style. This is debater. So just to remind all participants, and particularly Sirimavo and Musaeus, that your presentations should be in debate form and not reading off a script or teleprompter form. I hope the participants understand it very well and you have been properly briefed. One other important aspect which has also been brought to your notice is that the total debate is for 12 minutes and that includes 3 minutes for the summary. But in the context of the 3 speakers taking more than 9 minutes, 3 minutes allocated for each speaker, more than 9 minutes, that extra time will be deducted from the time of the summary. So in shortened form, as an example, if the 3 speakers have taken 1 minute more than what was allocated, the summary will not be 3 minutes, it will be only 2 minutes. I hope you understand this and you will adhere to it very well. Is it clear to the 2 participating schools what I've just said? Can
Yes,
I get
sir.
information? Sirimavo?
Yes, sir.
Musaeus?
Yes, sir.
Very good. We've got a very eminent panel of judges who will look at you very carefully. We hope that you understand this. A global audience will assess you and it will help the efforts of the National Olympic Committee of Sri Lanka. The expectation of excellence is the joy of effort for everybody, all participants. And with that, let me just make a brief introduction to the 2 schools. Sirimavo Bandaranaike Vidyalaya Colombo, represented by Rosanna Dayaratna, Detuni Pereira, Ruvinya Virakon, and Lasani Koralage, with Mrs. Indira Ratnaike as the teacher in charge. For Musaeus College Colombo, the team comprises of Jitma Ranasinghe, Induli Jayavardhana, Viruni Veerasinghe, Tinuli Samarsekara and Mrs. Chitrani Aberatna as the teacher in charge. The topics very carefully selected, and Sirimavo, you will be focusing on South Asian games should be a source of encouraging regional harmony for sustainable economic development in the region. Musaeus, you will be talking about South Asian games should be a source of encouraging mutual understanding of the regional requirements. So two very interesting topics. We wish you all the best, and take this opportunity to start the debate straight away. Good luck. And we hope that the panel of judges, as I mentioned earlier, they're doing a wonderful job. We think that you will make sure that this debate is all worthwhile, and you will be introduced as the visual media is concerned. I'm not going to introduce you one by one. So thank you very much for your participation. Sirimavo, we invite your first speaker, Rosara Dayaratna.
Shall I start?
Yes, your time is on now.
South Asia is one of the most diversified regions in the world, and there are many dissimilarities among us. And therefore, on news media, we constantly see issues relating to conflicts among South Asian countries. Though many agreements are signed and many unions are created within South Asia to achieve regional harmony, due to the distrust among us, the objectives of these agreements and unions are hardly achieved. For decades, we have seen this lack of tolerance among South Asian nations. Therefore, even when preferential trade areas, free trade areas, common markets, and economic and monetary unions are created within South Asia, powerful nations try to exploit others and surpass and outgrow rather than reach development in unity. But irrespective of all these differences, there is one common ground where we find all South Asian nations gather, and that is the South Asian Games arena. Athletes, coaches, referees, sponsors, spectators, media personnel, political leaders, and many others representing all of South Asia come together during the South Asian Games. I recognize this platform as a strategic point to influence towards regional harmony. But have we been able to fulfill regional harmony through South Asian Games? Have we been able to use those potentials of creating regional harmony embodied in SAF Games to its next level, which is economic cooperation? The simple answer is thus far no. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I introduce our topic. South Asian Games should be a source of encouraging regional harmony for sustainable economic development in the region. Based on our topic, we propose, regardless of all the differences among nations, South Asian Games can be effectively used as a source to overcome the distrust and the misunderstanding of South Asian nations. And as a collective effort of all nations, we can achieve sustainable economic development in the whole region. Sustainable development is defined by the United Nations introducing 17 goals for the world with the aim of leaving no one behind. These 17 sustainable development goals encompasses three core dimensions of economic, social, and environmental development, where the underlying principle is environmental sustainability. As our topic demands, we will limit our arguments in discussing only the aspect of sustainable economic development, which is to be achieved through regional harmony, that is aimed to be achieved by proper management of the SAF Games. It is so surprising that even when I define our topic in the above context, the theme of this debating series automatically emerges as the potential mechanism of improving SAF Games, which is none other than the 5 Olympic values. Over to you.
Judges, are we okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Hari, okay.
Inviting the first speaker for Musaeus, Jitma Ranasinghe.
You can see me and I'm audible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I will start. The most important thing about the Olympics game is not winning, but taking part. The essential thing of life is not conquering, but fighting well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what we are striving the South Asian Games to be. Our topic states the South Asian Games should be a source of encouraging mutual understanding for regional requirements. And so let me start off with a few keywords. Firstly, the South Asian Games. The South Asian Games is governed by the South Asian Olympic Committee, meaning it's a multi-sport event held among the countries of South Asia for its athletes. And the countries involved in it is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And it strives for peace, prosperity, and progress. And I can simply tell you that their motto is exactly what our three speeches are going to give you. Moving on to our second key point, being regional requirements. In short, regional requirements are the requirements that are equal to all 7 countries in South Asia. And we'll be addressing them in our 3 main points, being firstly, regional hostility and creating better political background. Secondly, peace building and regional cooperation. And thirdly, economy and living standards. I'll be tackling our first point, being regional hostility and creating better political background. So it's quite a common notion that India and Pakistan have a border issue because they do have only one border. And with this issue, there is great tensions. But imagine a situation like this. An Indian athlete and a Pakistani athlete, they meet and they form a friendship and it blossoms to a peace within the 2 countries. That would be a pretty nice scenario, would it not? But sadly, it isn't that easy. So before we try to get rid of regional hostility, there's one thing we have to do first, creating better political backgrounds. So in a situation like the South Asian Games, we have a hosting country and we have competing countries. And at those situations, obviously, these countries need communication. And this could be the first stepping stone for peace within our countries. Because better communication obviously strives for mutual understanding. Because mutual understanding requires communication, does it not? Because ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. South Asia is not filled with developed countries. South Asia has developing countries and upper middle countries. And we are all striving to get up here. And tensions and hostility is not what we need. So what we are striving to tell you is that South Asian Games is what we call the optimism is the most optimist way to strive for peace. And with that, what we're trying to say is the South Asian Games will encourage mutual understanding and our regional requirements will be met. Thank you.
Judges, are we good to go?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Sirimavo, it's your second speaker, Detuni Pereira.
May I start, sir?
Yes, please.
To the South region, which is home to 1/4 of the world population, the South Asian Games are one event that transcends all boundaries of life, important and well-loved. Or is it? When India hosted the Games in 2016, their tourism industry saw an increase of 9.7% in 2016 and 14% in 2017, indicating a steady growth. Unfortunately, this was not the case for Nepal, who hosted the Games in 2019. There was only a minor increase of 2.1% compared to 2018 that had a 24.8% increase. Why the difference? This lack of enthusiasm. The Games used to be highly anticipated, with the South Games being an iconic part of my parents' childhood. But for us, tell me honestly, how many of us were truly interested about the 2019 Games? I doubt many of us were, myself included. Sadly, any remaining enthusiasm too lies in other aspects and not to the love for the Games, evident by the enthusiasm levels when the kingpin of the region hosts and creates sustainable economic development, and when they do not. This lack of enthusiasm obstructs the South Asian Games' true purpose: peace, prosperity, and progress. The question is it truly possible to have sustainable economic growth through regional harmony sourced by a sporting event? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is. Malaysia hosted the 26th Southeast Asian Games in 2017, and their economy made a strong growth of 5.8% and even exceeded economics forecast of 5.4%. There are many reasons for this growth, but at the heart of it lies regional harmony. It's the trust developed within the Games that becomes a foundation for bigger economic development, with foreign investments trusting the country and creating opportunities. A classic example is the Indian Premier League. The entire world beats to one rhythm. Pursuit of excellence and joy of effort are embodied. The mentality is that of the best team winning. Can we honestly see these values in our South Asian Games? Now, imagine a situation like this. The Games bringing forward athletes from all corners of the region who become ambassadors of peace and harmony. The sports being governed by the fundamental values of the Olympics, and the athletes taking these values home and spreading the message, allowing it to take root in their home countries, bringing forth regional harmony and trust. The South Asian Games creating a tight-knit community of athletes who embody the fundamental Olympic values and becoming center stage whenever and wherever the Games are being held in all international news media, and becoming a well sought out opportunity by business giants to invest in improving a country's economy. Isn't this what the South Asian Games should be? A source that encourages regional harmony for sustainable economic development by reaching its pinnacle in the sports arena through the fundamental Olympic values of pursuit of excellence and joy of effort. Over to you.
This opportunity is for the second speaker from Musaeus. This is Induli Jayavardhana.
Can you see and hear me properly?
Yes.
I'm going to start. As professional athletes, in a way, we're almost ambassadors for peace. Venus Williams. Honorable judges and my dear friends, sports events like the South Asian Games generate an open platform where diverse individuals can come together and interact and create bonds of understanding. As the governing body of the South Asian Games, the South Asian Olympic Council has only one goal in sight: building peace and cooperation in South Asia. As this is a rather complex process, let me explain it to you. UNESCO recognizes sport as an instrument for promoting peace, a fact that is not only widely acknowledged, but also backed by research. In fact, researchers from the Peace Research Institute in Oslo show us that sport events like the South Asian Games can promote peace in not one, but 4 different ways. Firstly, international sports events can help the host country build a hospitable image towards the rest of the world. Secondly, sport can provide a platform for peaceful cultural exchange, which can be the foundation for further dialogues. Third, sports events can help involved countries build trust with each other. And finally, sports competitions can help countries build peace through reconciliation, integration, and anti-racism. There are also a number of real-world examples to back this. In South Asia itself, we see a Pakistani-Indian tennis duo, Qureshi Ambapana, who competed together while advocating for peace under the rather unusual slogan, "Stop War, Start Tennis." In 2006, Sri Lanka held the South Asian Games, and this was a great example of how the South Asian Games brought together countries that were not only in the midst of civil conflicts, but also recovering from the devastation caused by the 2004 tsunami. Now, moving on to regional cooperation, we understand that this cooperation is mutually desirable to promote welfare and improve the quality of life of people living in South Asia. But are we really going to embrace our enemies because of this? I don't think so. Therefore, peace and understanding is vital to make this a reality. And by promoting mutual understanding and peace, the South Asian Games do have the potential to fulfill both these objectives. But we haven't got there just yet because we have a number of challenges. Not many people in South Asia perceive sport as a peace promoting tool. And if we are to succeed, we have to change this mentality. And we propose that regional organizations like the South Asian Olympic Council and the governments of the relevant countries start by conducting awareness programs and workshops like OVEP. Because as Yuna once said, remember, where there is sport, there is peace. Where there is peace, there is sport. Thank you.
Okay, here's inviting the third and last speaker for Sirimavo, Ruvinya Virakon.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, your time is start now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the third speaker, I would like to focus on a different aspect of the topic given. Mid-2016 rocked the Sri Lankan economy with a public outrage of doubts about the outcomes of Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement between India and Sri Lanka, commonly known as ETCA. The criticism portrayed through media for a moment made me believe whether India was actually going to invade us. The reason for such outrage and fear is rather a historical experience where India dominantly influenced Sri Lanka on several occasions, and that doubt remained on whatever the forum we meet them. This is extended towards the relationship between India and Pakistan, India and Bangladesh, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, if a bilateral agreement causes such calamity among countries, a multilateral movement appears to be far beyond our reach. The one platform where regional countries forget these generation rivalries would be the sports arena. When it comes to the Olympics, we as spectators don't look at the nationality of athletes, but enjoy it collectively as an event of pursuit of excellence. This same principle, if we can bring out from the South Asian Games as well, it will make them set aside the differences and unite as one regional family by following the 5 Olympic values. This is a reason for us to proudly present the topic, South Asian Games should be a source of encouraging regional harmony for sustainable economic development, not as a fantasy, but as a possibility. The first step in achieving our expectations of South Asian Games is that we, drew the attention of investors and entrepreneurs within the region in order to promote their own economic activities at the central hub of that respective games in the host country through different exhibitions and stalls. Then the next step would be attracting the attention of global investors and businessmen all around the world to open up the region for new avenues of sustainable economic development, with South Asian Games becoming the foundation. The future we dream to see in South Asian Games is the countries who already hosted the Games collectively lending a helping hand to countries like Afghanistan and Maldives who are unable to host the Games due to their prevailing economic conditions and make their dream of hosting the South Asian Games a reality. This collaborative environment will lead to achieve sustainable development goals of decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, peace, justice, and strong institution among the region. Join us on a sustainable journey of economic development encouraged by regional harmony sourced through the South Asian Games. Over to you.
This would be Viruni Veerasinghe, and the last speaker of Musaeus.
Mr. Haritha, could you please call her again?
Is it? Calling the third and last speaker for Viruni Veerasinghe. This is for Musaeus.
Mr. College speaker number 3, are you ready? Speaker number 3, could you please talk because we can't hear your sound here.
Ubi, I think she's muted.
I think there is some audio issues in her computer, maybe.
saying is correct, and other one, there's no like a normal debate is not the case. This is something we want children to share their knowledge about values and to practice. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for the invite.
Okay, I think the school is
Mr.
here, isn't it?
Mr. Harita, why don't you introduce Miss Maria is also there from Jordan?
Yeah, we've got Barahat Maria, an international gymnastics judge and coach, president of the Gymnastics for All Committee in the Arab Gymnastics Union. Thank you very much, Maria, for joining us and giving us that little bit of world opinion and audience.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I was actually very excited to see those little girls excited and enthusiastic talking about those heavy topics for their age. Like even us, we're researching on those topics, how we can use sports event for higher purposes, for economical, political aspects, to improve relations between countries, and like other than just the recreational, elite, and physical fitness. I really like what I'm seeing, and I'm so like, I like that the idea that girls in their ages are knowledgeable about those topics, and they can talk and with this enthusiasm about them. So yeah. Bravo, guys.
Thank you very much. Spread the message yourself, because that is what this whole exercise is all about, the pursuit of excellence and the joy of effort coming out of it. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe one day I'll take this module back to my country and create something similar, actually. I'll follow up with the outcomes, actually. I'm really interested.
I hope you have the time to stay right along with us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thanks, Maria. So Maria is now reading master's degree from Seoul National University. Thanks, Maria. Please stay here until we finish this debate program.
Oh, Gopi, now I get the connection.
Yeah, she's a very good friend of me and Hansik as well. There are a few more, Dream Together Masters are joining here. Let me check quickly with Mrs. College speaker number 3. Are you okay with your connections?
We are waiting for you, Viruni Veerasinghe from Musaeus.
Children, they are talking about these Olympic values and this under these topics. Doctor?
Okay, thank you. You hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Yes. I was so amazed by the command of the English language of all of the 5 who have spoken now. At their age, I wish I could speak half as well. And their knowledge of the South Asia and South Asia Games is really tremendous. I hope they also, in their schools, have seminars where they can tell the other students what they have learned about South Asia. I'm not sure whether any of them are taking part in sports. That I would like to know, because it's really very good that their interest in sports is such that I would like them to pass on what they have learned to their classmates or their school above a certain age. And then I hope they do attend some of the sports, either locally or the national sports, although at this time I would not expect them to. I'm very impressed by them. I'm really like to see this happen in all the schools. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you, Dr. Edurvira Singham, who is the person brought the first gold medal, international gold medal in sports to Sri Lanka. And he's a dual Olympian in 1948 and 1952 Olympic Games. So thank you. Harita is over to you. And she is now back with a good connection. Thank you.
I'm very sorry for the panel of judges as well. I'm truly sorry for the inconvenience that I have caused.
Harita, I think once again you can invite her.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so this is the third and last speaker for Musaeus, Biruni Veerasinghe.
Nelson Mandela once said that sports can create hope where once there was only despair. Good morning, honorable judges and ladies and gentlemen. Peace and prosperity. Both are regional names that are essential in order for us to live harmoniously. And also, peace is achieved through prosperity. Don't you agree with it? Because after all, in order for an economy to prosper, there should be effective living standards. So, when it comes to sports, it is crucially important that a sports individual has a healthy mind as well as a healthy body, correct? And it is just as crucially important that every athlete has the access for such facilities. So due to the recognition of this very fact, most of the South Asian governments have thought that it is essential that they invest in sports by investing in social and economical development. And also, through the decisions that are taken by the South Asian governments that have such consideration, it has not only made a great impact in the field of sports, but also have made an impact in improving the living standards and conditions of larger communities in South Asia. Now, that being said, one of the very first steps taken by the South Asian Federation Games as an establishment was actually coming up with a firm policy among the nations so that they could extend their cooperativeness into the sporting field. And into the sporting field. And I guess we all could agree that South Asia as a subcontinent is extremely interdependent. So due to such interdependence, regional objectives of peace, freedom, and of course economical prosperity can be best achieved by fostering mutual understanding and cooperation among the nations. Now this statement actually proved a solid and evident point the time when Sri Lanka got to host the 10th South Asian Games in 2006. So this wasn't the best in timing as the host country itself was suffering through a civil war. But despite of being upset about that, the countries got together and they promoted mutual understanding among them through nothing else but through sport. And also while we are at the subject of hosting the South Asian Games, this is also extremely beneficial in an economical aspect for the hosting country. And finally, peace, prosperity, and of course progress is achieved. And the goal of Olympism to place sport at the service of the harmonious development of humankind is also achieved. And if the South Asian Games continues to show such progress, the South Asian Games wouldn't just be a source that encourages young athletes to pursue their dreams, but also be the very source that encourages to mutually understand its very own regional demands. Thank you.
time to sum up, and we take this opportunity to invite Jitma Ranasinghe for Musaeus.
You can see me and I'm audible, yeah?
Yes, it is perfect. 1 second, Dinky. Yep. Hang on a minute. Yes. Dinky, are you ready?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Gabi. Yes.
Your time is start now.
Sports has the power to change the world. Sports has the power to inspire, the power to unite people in a way little else does. That was said by Nelson Mandela. And in the beginning of my first speech, I mentioned that the motto of the South Asian Games is peace, prosperity, and progress. And throughout our speeches, we've been trying to show you the peace, prosperity, and progress that the South Asian Games can bring to the 7 countries in South Asia. Now, we had 2 points, our first and the second, entirely focusing on peace. We told you how mutual understanding can be brought by communication. Proper communication between all 7 countries can bring mutual understanding. That mutual understanding can result in less regional hostility, making our countries peaceful and working as a team to develop to a better state than it is now. And then we had our second point, which was, I could say, based on peace itself, saying that it was named peace building. We showed you how by having understanding, by having peace within our countries, we show you the prosperity that the South Asian Games strive for. Coming to the third point, we have economics and living standards. With the peace, there will obviously be the economy will rise, the living standards will be better, and with that, we will have progress. We will have the progress that these 7 countries strive for. Seeing that South Asia, as I mentioned before, isn't filled with developed countries. We are all countries that are striving to be better day by day. And the last thing we need is hostility within our countries. The last thing we need is not to have different issues on our shoulders when we already have so much of being better than we are today. So in the end, simply what we have to say as a team is that the South Asian Games is exactly the perfect stepping stone for mutual understanding, for our regional requirements. Because as mentioned, we are just 7 countries trying to strive to be better, trying to be developed and give the best to the people. Thank you.
Rosara Dayaratne for the sum up for Sirimavo.
Excuse me. Hello. I'm sorry, there has been a mistake. The remaining timing for the team is 2 minutes and 50 3 seconds.
Thank you very much. Shall I start now?
Please, your time is start now.
Reiterating the basis of my first speech, I quote Lord Buddha, Nanat Kaya, Nanat Sanya. Different bodies, different minds. Diversity exists everywhere. Myself is different from you. You are different from others around you. But as a family, as a race, as a nation, we try to understand each other and we try to live in harmony. Our attempt is to extend that exercise to the South Asian region. If we were to discuss why we do not try to understand each other, there may be many reasons, but all these reasoning would not help us to overcome the sustainable economic development issues faced by the South Asian region. Under the present pandemic situation, we observe that the Asia's economic outlook is grim as the devastating impacts of COVID-19 lingers on. And that is why we believe that more than ever, there is an urge for regional harmony and collective efforts to overcome South Asian economic crisis. However, the solution we suggest is not mere economic growth, which leads to millions of fresh more problems. But what we suggest is a plan for sustainable economic development. That is why our aim is to harmonize South Asians' public through the South Asian Games. That is the very reason we propose that the South Asian Games should be manipulated to iron out the misunderstandings among the nations, which is a possibility. As we stated, yes, we may have lost the significance that was once given to the South Asian Games. But if we can strictly practice the 5 Olympic values within South Asian Games, every nation will get the opportunity to achieve regional harmony. In other words, not only 1 or 2 countries, but all South Asian nations will have a hope for sustainable development. As my third speaker suggested, we must make the South Asian Games arena a place where the regional political leaders and business tycoons cannot ignore. If they get to create a strong, visible understanding among themselves, that will have a considerable impact on building up the regional harmony among the general public. I will conclude my speech by incorporating our topic within the South Asian Games motto, peace, prosperity, and progress. Let us achieve peace through regional harmony. Let us achieve prosperity through sustainability. Let us achieve progress through economic development. Thank you.
Well, that was quite a rousing start for the Super 8 stage between Sirimavo, who were the top ranked in this particular stage, and Musaeus, both from Colombo. They were ranked 8th. And the fact that they were trying to take these examples and objectives of the games that speak most in the region, especially for